It's the six past commandments. How are you? How you doing? Hope you're good. Happy Mother's Day. Make sure you buy your mother, a little Starbucks gift card, or if you're a little ghetto, a Dunkin' Donuts gift card, but not, and absolutely not, a McDonald's gift card. It'll be disrespectful. Six Paps, Dice, Mr. Land if you need me. So, on this channel, man, we talk about these things because we want to get a healthier mindset. We want to perform at a high level and be better versions of ourselves. And this is also to hand down my Six Paps Commandments. The Six Paps Commandments is a verbal, unwritten doctrine as that's to be passed on orally, pause, for this generation and future generations so that we can begin to really do this work. Okay? Now, got allergies. Don't judge me. I know I'm light-skinned. I know y'all looking for any reason to talk down the light-skinned brother. Oh, man, I don't want to listen to him, man. He be getting allergies, man. He's soft. Whatever, yo. It's fine. But anyway, I'm not even sure how to phrase it. I wanted to talk about this because I was watching Dennis Sperling's channel right now. Not right now. Last night. Shout out to the Blizzard King. Shout out to him, Uncle D. Keep cooking. Uncle D is like Kevin, like he's really like, well, for one, he was friends with Kevin Samuels. He's like Kevin Samuels, he's like the Kevin Samuels wild friend, like crazy friend. And one time he gave that analogy. He said, "Yo, I'm about to do with the club that just got out, that's waiting to put in work." And like, yo, his channel is extremely violent. But anyway, he got a clip which I thought was from TikTok, but it actually is on Instagram. I think he found it on Instagram, right? And he was playing it. And I'm going to play it for y'all after I do this little monologue real quick. And basically, it's a video talking about black cottagecore. So black cottagecore is pretty much like alternative fashion, or it's kind of like a subculture, and it's on Instagram. Now, I came across it. It is on my Explore page and whatnot. It was kind of interesting. So it's kind of part of like this whole, have you heard of this whole like soft girl movement or soft life, soft this, soft that, hashtag hyperfeminism, hyperfeminine, girly style and stuff like that. So it falls under that. Now, it's not something that black people made up or created, from what I understand. From what I understand, it's one of those fashion trends that come from white girls and whatnot, suburban white girls and white girls in general, and the women that are with black women doing it, they are, I don't say copying, but they like it, and they're doing it too. So cottagecore, from what I can understand, it's kind of like it's like a fairy tale aesthetic. It kind of, so in terms of where it's coming from, it seems like it's coming from like a fairy tale aesthetic. It's like princess theme, like fantasy type stuff. Have you ever heard of like kawaii or Lolita and whatnot? So Lolita is another like fashion subculture where women dress like, I don't want to say little girls, but it's like kind of like a real immature, colorful, like, all right. So say for like kawaii. Like, you'll see them wear like a lot of different pastels all at one time. The frilly ruffled socks and, like the striped stockings and these puffy dresses and things like that. For Lolita, they're kind of similar. But Lolita, now they say that it's not supposed to be based on the book, but I think it is. So Lolita, the book, is based on a book about basically a romance that this older man had with this very underage girl. I don't know her exact age, but it was very underage, and it's about a romance that he has with this girl, this relationship that he has with this very young girl and whatnot. I can't tell you the whole plot, but I know that was the gist of it. So anyway, so that's Lolita, that's kawaii. So cottagecore kind of is in that realm, you know what I mean? And the idea is that, it's like, again, that soft life. The girls will, if they're taking pictures, they'll be like, in a field or maybe in a park, but it'll look like a field. They have a picnic, they're wearing like real long dresses. The dresses that look like very old fashioned, like super old fashioned. They look like, it look kind of like, women you would see on a cover of like a romance novel, So I don't think the way it looks is intentional. But one thing I will say about whenever I've come across just like different like subgenres or subspaces for fashion and just different stuff like that, whether it's goth, kawaii, Lolita, soft girl, like the hashtag, the quote unquote soft girl era, or basically soft girl style and whatnot. But specifically like goth now, and now goth isn't gothic, you know what I mean? And now we have cottagecore, which is, again, like I said, it's like real, like super old fashioned looking, very long dresses. Again, taking pictures, in a garden, picking fruit, I guess, stuff like that. But what I will notice is anytime I see black women who dress in an alternative way, I always have this game I play with myself where I have to go to their profile and I have to see the man they with. A lot of times when they're into alternative fashion, it's always the common denominator. A lot of times is always a white guy, or you'll find something on their profile that says, "Hey, I am mostly interested in only white men," because it's always a white guy, right? And it's interesting. It's interesting, So, I said before, this came up on Uncle D's channel, and he was reviewing a video this girl made about this thread on Twitter, and that was about black cottagecore and these comments that were in the comment section and whatnot. And the conversation is mostly about how do other groups of people really see us, specifically how do white folks really see us? How do white men really see black women in terms of actual dating? Okay. Now again, I'm not saying I'm not saying I don't believe in racism. I see it as culture. I don't really see it as it's because you personally hate me. It's just culture. People just see people how they see them based on their culture. But we have a long history of this group talking to us a certain kind of way, treating us a certain kind of way, creating legislation against us. Now, mind you, again, other groups of people didn't have legislation against them for a long time. We've had legislation. It was legal to withhold resources or to create barriers between black people and certain resources. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, in the 1950s and 60s, it was still legal for a college to say, we cannot offer you admission or we cannot allow you to go to this college because you are black. You are not allowed to come eat in this crappy diner with crappy food because you're black. You cannot go to school and get a mediocre education because you're black. This wasn't that long ago, And hey, again, hold on a second, I'm sorry. I have allergies and I'm sorry, I'm not. It's not stop. My nose is dripping and everything, but I don't want to stop the video because I love y'all. I love y'all. I love you. Okay. Also, Whitney Houston stuff. I love you. But anyway, I'm just saying we have this history with these people. So again, I don't walk around ever thinking that I see a person that's not black, they must hate me or they don't like me or nothing like that. But at the same time, I'm aware of what our ethnic image is. I'm aware of how people say to regard us, how they say to talk to us. We have social media now. People can post what they want all day long. Okay, so we got social media. People can post whatever they want, and there's no consequences. And if you look over social media and comment sections, especially it's about anything political, you get to see what people really think. Comment sections are representative of like what people think. That's real data, my G. That's real data. That's those are real. Those you can turn those into stats, if you want to, because these people ain't saying this stuff for no reason. They're not saying it to be funny. They're saying it because that's how they really feel, But anyway, but what was another interesting point was I was familiar with it and whatnot. And honestly, if you put that hashtag in, you're not going to find thousands and thousands of different black women doing this look or just a lot of. It's not a super common thing for black folks to do. It's not even common for other groups in general. It's like a subgenre, like everything else. But it's extremely small. And if you go and put that hashtag in, you'll see a lot of the same people. It's like you got a few kind of people who have become influencers, and then they're typically, like smaller, petite black women, very nice looking black women, sometimes very nice looking when they shave, and they usually have a white boyfriend. No, which is fine. You do what you do. But it's a few things that's interesting. For one, we got to get to the conversation about how black women see their sexual marketplace value in terms of like marriage and someone taking you very serious and wanting to be with you. Because it's always kind of interesting to me that now how like it seems as though like black women really think that you have more options of dating outside your race than you actually do. Okay, white men only marry black women at a rate of like of 3%. Only so the out of the 100% of y'all that are married, well, out of the percentage of y'all that are married, 3% of y'all are married. 3% out of 100 are married to white men. Okay, so men guard access to relationships and marriage. So in order to be in a relationship or a marriage, that man has to ask you. So again, if these men, if they find you to be very desirable, they're going to naturally approach you. I mean, there will be more marriages. Guys will at least be married to white men at a rate of 25%. It's not even that high. It's not even a quarter of y'all that's married. 10%. We can't even say 10%. We can't even say 5% of y'all that are married to white men, and it's not because they're afraid or anything like that. The reality is, people in general marry and go with and get with people who look like them. I'm not saying you wrong for it if you want to date outside your race and stuff like that, but at the same time, what makes it more interesting for us is the fact that we have all this inner turmoil in the community. So it's a lot more inflammatory, and it's also it's like the same as like cheating for a woman. It's like you're not doing. It's like a part of you doing it is. I'm not saying to be disrespectful, but on some level, you are saying, I only want this. I think this is a better option for me. Okay? I don't know if... we might have to call that the bedwinch gene. You know what I mean? Because that gene starts somewhere. Because, again, because at the end of the day, we know that back when we was on a plantation, not everyone was super resistant. Not everyone felt like, no, I don't want to be nowhere near this man. I mean, I would rather die than sleep with this man. That was a common practice for masters to have their way with all the women and impregnate all the women and have kids by them. That wasn't unnatural. Look at me. What's this? You know what I mean? And it's all good. I mean, I'm never mad. I'm never mad about any of that stuff. But on one hand, we got to discuss that because it's interesting to me. And two, we have to get into the fact that it didn't dawn on me that the black women dressed like this look like slaves. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't, because again, I haven't seen them necessarily all like picking anything. Now again, the pictures that's going to be in this video, you're going to see more women actually because like I said before, you'll see them like. It's like they're in a garden. It's like they're. And again, I think the idea is that I'm a feminine princess who, I'm dainty. You know what I mean? And I'm in Beauty and the Beast type setting, and I'm a princess. I think that's the intention. But that is how we used to dress when we were slaves. That actually is. I'm so sorry, y'all. Please excuse me. I'm so sorry. I got these wee bad allergies and everything, man, and it's bad. It's bad. I'm sorry. I had to wipe my nose, man. Please don't judge me. Again, it's not snot. It's just nose is dripping from sinuses and whatnot, so I gotta wipe my nose. But anyway, but yeah, that is how we used to look. And on top of that, like I said before, while I see the common denominator, not the common denominator of what the ongoing trend is, whenever you see people dressed like this, they're always with a white guy, or they desire white men, or they make it clear that, I would like, if I could, I'll be with a white man. You know what I mean? That's why I'm dressed this way, because I'm trying to attract a white man. And, and I remember hearing this recently about, how black women want to be white women. You know what I'm saying? And, that sounds a little bit extreme and whatnot, but you look at this all from the hair to the makeup to the surgeries and stuff and then you have these trends that go on where these women don't care. They don't care how it looks. Let me tell you something right now. If history was reversed, where we had white folks in bondage, how they had us in bondage and whatnot, and let's say we had them wearing kente cloths and dashikis and whatever, I don't know the proper verbiage or the terms for this stuff, they would never ever. It would never be a trend, a fashion trend, or it would never be. They would never even wear those kind of patterns ever again. That would be so taboo, because they would say, "Yo, these people had us. They used to make us wear that in bondage. I'm not putting that on." It reminds me of when oh y'all, sorry. It reminds me of when I was younger, right? When Dickie suits were really, really popular. It was really popular to have a Dickie suit. You know what I mean? And I remember I got my first Dickie suit, man. I was really hyped. And I remember my uncle saying, "Yo, you know they wear those in jail. They make prisoners wear Dickie suits. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never put one of them Dickie suits on because they make prisoners wear that. And at the time, like, yo, this was really fashionable. People was getting Dickie suit customized. I was customizing Dickie suits. You know what I'm saying? Well, just mine in particular. I had mine customized. You feel me? Rocking it with the long sleeve, long johns and whatnot, and the Timbs or the boots or the white Air Forces and everything. Yo, it was really popular and everything. But at the time, I didn't have enough awareness to understand that, yo, you don't put on stuff like that because of what it means. Like, again, the things we do matter, the causes we make matter. If that particular aesthetic has a negative connotation to it, you can't just say, oh, well, I'm doing fashion. So again, I don't have no emotions towards it and whatnot. I just think it's a very interesting subject. Very interesting. So I want to go ahead in this next clip kind of go through this video with y'all real quick, okay? All right, here we go.
Horrific. And if you want to keep watching and if you can stomach these comments,
bring it back.
I've been on the internet for years and I've seen my share of racist things. I've had Twitter ever since it came out, or a few years after it came out. I've seen a lot of shit, but this thread is absolutely horrific. And if you want to keep watching and if you can stomach these comments, I'm just going to show you guys what the fuck is going on Elon Musk's app. And I can't be the only one who's noticed like a crazy amount of their timeline, but just look at some of this shit. This person responded, horny is a powerful feeling. And then the person under it responds, you can be racist and think black girls are fuckable. The difference is a true racist would never raise a family with one. This one says, this is Cottagecore. This one says, wow, it's incredibly shocking and surreal to see a black woman be feminine and presentable. This one says, they look like Victorian slaves. This one says, do not race mix. At least don't go downward. Asians are okay, but this, nope. Now all of the races other than white. I encourage you to race mix. This one says, now I know why Thomas Jefferson couldn't resist the jungle fever. This one says, nah, man, as a racist myself, I will get with any race but black. I'm a man of principle. This one says, race mixing is fucking gross. Fuck off.
Gosh.
This one says, I must be unfathomably based in that none of these half-cased servant girls move my needle in the slightest. I'd flog them unmercifully if they didn't finish their chores before dark. And I still wouldn't let any of them in my house, let alone wanting to.
The dude who wrote that, he definitely got a ponytail. Definitely the white dude with the ponytail.
If you notice a pattern from all of those tweets under that thread, and there are many, many more, none of those people have a picture of themselves as their profile picture, which is extremely fucking dangerous because you have no idea what those men look like, which means that they are walking among you and they are actively seeking out black women to satisfy a race play fetish. And if you don't know what race play is, and you want to look it up on Reddit because it is fucking disgusting. It's an entire subcategory of porn that is dedicated to racist white men having with black women and calling them racial slurs.
Oh, wow.
This is why black women need to be very, very, very careful when it comes to dating white men because you have no idea which ones actually think like this.
All right, let's go ahead and read some of these comments.
I've been on the internet for years.
I'm gonna mute that real quick. So now again, I'm not surprised by those kind of tweets online. Of course, these guys are extreme representations of what white folks may think and whatnot. And of course, they're being extreme. They're behind an avatar, and they are who they are and whatnot. So obviously, I don't think that all white men are walking around feeling like exactly like that. It's a bit much. But what bothered me was when you look at this comment section, instead of just saying, "Hey, yeah, man, that's really messed up," that's crazy how people will talk. No, this is disgusting. That's sick. I'm not trying to be anyone's fetish or just whatever. You have women in these comments basically saying in so many words that no, white men would never talk about me like that. Are you serious? No, let's get into it. Let's see. We don't know the race behind these fake profiles. It could be white men, black men, white women, etc. This is still not an excuse to limit your dating options to one group. All you can do is vet people and continue to go where you are loved, appreciated, and respected. Okay, let's see. Sad, working right. This is so sad. Now, okay, now we got somebody who was actually just trying to have an adult conversation, saying this is so sad. What's even sadder is that you could be working right next to these people who feel like this about you. Let's see. Here we go. We got another person that's trying to have a real conversation. Black women, vet all men. Race mixing will not save you. Your problems don't go away because you date or marry white men. Thank you, Yanni, for covering this. I can see that there. Let's see. I take all these comments with a grain of salt, honestly. Whether they mean it or just trolling for views and clicks, the internet or races in real life won't stop me from venturing out into my own feminist space and happiness. Not a shocker coming from specific crowds, but only give me more boost to keep pushing and vet accordingly. What's funny is the idea is that, hey, this is wrong. This is wrong for someone to talk about y'all like that. But we have a lot of data. A lot of information, a lot of personal accounts, a lot of women who have spoken on their experience with dating outside their race. And it's kind of crazy how, like, in so many words, a lot of women in these comments are ignoring what's being said here. What data do you have? What experiences do you have? You know what I'm saying? In turn, or where do you see this all of this harmonious? It's just all this harmony between yourself and that man's family when you date outside your race. You have no, like, it's saying, oh well, don't basically, this woman basically is saying that I'm not going to let what I saw here or what the truth is stop. Basically, I'm just not stop me from dating. Or matter of fact, it's not even about dating. Because the truth of the matter is that when women date outside their race, and again, I'm not hating for dating outside your race, but you're not getting that guy because he's been after you. You know what I'm saying? For the last month, he sees you at the gym and everything. He's always trying to talk to you, and you just always say no. Y'all meet those men more than halfway. That guy shows you interest in what. I'm not saying the guy doesn't show interest or you never approach, but 9 times out of 10, that guy knows you. He knows you from work. He sees you all the time. Maybe you live in the same area and whatnot. But there's men who are not black don't go around and just approaching black women. I would say that's more of a black thing, actually. That's more of a black guy thing. Like black guys are way more likely to approach or show interest or really try to close the deal. As far as cold approach, I'm not saying white guys don't cold approach at all. I'm just saying it's just not super common, you know what I mean, for white guys to cold approach a lot. You know what I'm saying? Which is why it can be kind of weird. Actually, for other groups of people, you know what I'm saying, it kind of be seen as a little bit aggressive for you to cold approach someone that you never seen. Cold approach meaning going up to talk to a girl that you never seen before, and especially cold approaching someone who doesn't look like you. You know what I mean? Like in Asian culture, a lot of times, they get to know people by way of like friends and family. It's not really a random guy that's seeing you somewhere and asking your name and trying to get you know. But not that there's anything's wrong with that. But but this whole conversation as if like there's so many of these guys out there. So it's really a few. In terms of the guy who's going to actually follow all the way through and actually marry you and have children with you and be happy to have children with you. I'm not saying that men who have wives who are not outside their race and whatnot don't love them or don't want to be with them. I'm just saying in general, we know it's not a thing that happens every day, and also it's a lot of issues that come along with it. But anyway, let's read a few more, and then we're gonna get out of here. This is the scariest part of dating some white men and dating out, because you never know if the ones that you talk to feels like this about you. Sad that we have to be cautious of everything as a black woman. And I'm like, man, if that's the case, like, okay, no, we're not even going to get into that. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, we'll read this one and then we'll get out of here. Maybe one more. Those comments are probably not even white men. I would bet that it's white women or black men making those comments mostly. Race play is real. You'll find out very soon if a white man just wants you for sex. I only date white men, and I know the hardcore fetishizers telling yourself, come to light real quick. Don't let this scare you from opening your dating options. I'm sorry, don't let this scare you from opening your dating options, ladies. Anything to keep us from the opposite race of men. God, I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. You guys do remember that a handful of people on the internet are not the representation of the world. Bear that in mind before giving your energy to nothings. I don't care what none of them nobodies have to say about those black queens. We gotta stop giving those people amplified voices. They can go to hell respectfully. These accounts could be run by black men too, or any ethnicity, just for engagement. We know they do it. So her conclusion is a bit, wow. Is it bad that I don't care? I'm not on Twitter, and this video reinforces why I should stay off it. I think the best thing we can do is get to know every person that comes into our lives, whether romantic or not. Also, limiting time on social media and being mindful of the content we consume and focusing on our real-life connection is important. I'm not really bothered by this. I never thought white men felt any different. Like, I never thought they spoke highly of me or acknowledged my beauty, especially being chocolate. They literally come from men who raped and killed us for sport. And, oh goodness, that kind of hatred doesn't go away and runs deep in your blood. I like knowing and seeing the truth, even if it's disgusting. Black women gotta vet everybody because the world is always against us. I'm not surprised. Now, mind you, black. All right, man. I'm gonna get to this point, man. I'm not surprised. I'm gonna get to this point, and I'm gonna work my way back. I'm not surprised. We are on our own and always have been. Really, our men publicly shame and ridicule us. So who protects us? We can be awful to each other. SMH. Okay. Let me come back to y'all. Okay. Listen, I had no intention of making this video that long. And y'all, I don't got that much longer before my nose start dripping again. Listen, I apologize for having to wipe my nose on camera and everything. Cause I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to go to sleep. Cause I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss it. Was it I love you, baby? Or I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing. Real talk. But what I thought was interesting was that black men had nothing. Black men were not involved in this. This is between y'all and Zaddy. The conversation is about black women doing the cottagecore fashion subgenre, as far as fashion expressing yourselves, and these comments are from presumably white men, or supposed to be from white men. You look at the comment section and you have black women bringing up black men. And I'm like, God, daggone. Everything is a black man fault. That's just crazy. No matter what I do, it's my fault. You see in the comment section, oh yeah, you know what? That's probably not even white men. That's probably some black men making those comments. I'm like, what are you talking about? Black men don't. You have no proof of that. It's one thing if you had a documentary, or if you knew someone personally who has a burner account and makes these kind of comments and whatnot. If you had some kind of proof, you actually did some kind of research, I can see if you say, all right, here's my source, or here's why I say that. Like, and I'm like, wow, it like this really runs deep that I understand, and again, those were not nice comments. Those are messed up comments, man. That's crazy, But for black women to read that and say that, oh, those probably not white men doing that, and it's not. What have white men done that makes you give him the benefit of the doubt that? And again, there's millions of people out there. But we have so many years we have hundreds of years of history. What has he done that will make you say? Not I'm saying he, but I'm just saying what about white men that have they shown you that it's impossible that they would write stuff like that? What the young lady referred to in terms of race play and whatnot, I ain't know it was on Reddit, but in terms of race play and whatnot, those are real people. Now again, it's not. I don't think it's millions of videos or nothing like that, but it's not like we got too much information, bro. It's too much information. But I'm but a black man cannot be the answer to all your problems. A black man cannot be responsible for all your problems. It's just impossible. It's just simply impossible. It can't be, And another thing I wanted to point out was, everyone's against us. No one protects us. Our own men talk awful about us. And I have to comment on that before I go. Like I said before, man, all black folks have in terms of relationships and love, in terms of our community, is each other. Okay? In terms, the information is out there. We're having conversations about this. We are for the first time having honest conversations about why doesn't the black family unit exist? Women leave their marriages, black women in particular, leave their marriages at a rate of 80%. They don't stay in their relationships. Most men, who are baby daddies and single fathers and whatnot. Now, mind you, if you got kids by a few different women, it's usually a different kind of situation. Sometimes, you know what I mean? But a lot of times, in terms of if there was a situation where y'all was in a relationship and y'all was together, she usually a situation where she broke up with you or she kicked you out. Or she asked you to leave. I'm saying, because again, a lot of times when you're young, you having kids when you're young and stuff like that, a lot of times, women are more likely to have their credit together if you got 23, 24, and you're in your 20s and whatnot. She may have better credit. She may maybe making around the same money, or she may be making a few more dollars than you when you in your early 20s or your mid 20s and whatnot. It can happen. It happens, especially if you're not put on game, right? And on top of that, we have a whole history of women basically selling us down, was it up the river or down the river? One of those, but selling us to a river, for these entitlement programs. You're supposed to get food, clothing, and shelter from your man. The same way, it's for the same reason why women are not okay with you going. That's what's not okay, but don't want you going to a strip club. Don't want you going to a escort. You know what I'm saying? Or want you watching porn. Why is that? Because she feels as though you're supposed to get that from me. And when you start doing that, then we have less of a connection. And that's true. If you're watching porn and you're masturbating every single day and stuff like that, there's just no way you can maintain a good connection and good attraction to your woman. You know what I'm saying? Or if you get to, it's almost like if men got to a point where they rather fast food than a home cooked meal. Most women are not gourmet chefs. Most women are okay at cooking, and that's okay. Most men are not looking for a gourmet meal. They just want the meal to taste good and be palatable and be eatable. That's it. I don't know if eatable is a word, but they mostly want that. They not, and they really, I really appreciate it. We all really appreciate it. I've never heard a man say, I don't care if my girl made me anything to eat. I don't care. She can't cook anyway. Never heard that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, sure. I ain't trying to be. I ain't trying to be intimate with my girl. Like, she fat anyway. That's not how men are. If we with you, we with you. You know what I mean? But you see comments like, "We're not protected." I'm like, you're not protected because you don't stay next to your man. You don't value your man. And situations like this prove that you don't value your man. You rather still give a man that doesn't look like you or come from your group the benefit of the doubt, but you'll instead of saying, wow, these guys are crazy, these guys are sick, or yeah, some men out here want you as a fetish, man. So let's avoid that. It becomes no, vet all men. We're not talking about all men. We talking about white men. That ain't all men. Don't get me wrong, yeah, you should. And you need help with vetting men. You need to have a man around you. Also, I want to speak to, this is another reason why it's very dangerous for women to not have good guys in their life. Because again, who's going to establish, hold on guys. I'm sorry. It's important to have good men in your life so that you can gain that sense of logic. You know what I mean? Now again, women filter everything through emotion, so a woman's logic is always going to be, I'm not going to say limited, but that's just not how women are. They don't just look at the logic of it because they're not cold. They put the emotion is what makes them beautiful. Is the fact that they can feel. They do everything through feeling. But we got to a point where we condone bad behavior, talking negatively and putting your energy into negative things, which beget even more negative things and whatnot, to the point where, like, again, we got women resisting biology, women are more unhappy than ever, and we don't get to see how beautiful it is to see a happy woman. And at the end of the day, like, yo, all we got is each other, you know what I mean? And women need the assistance of men when it comes to making these big, like, major decisions, because, yo, I mean, look at the logic of the people in this comment section. Look at the logic. Somehow this all circled back around to being a black man's fault. And you have people saying, that's probably not white man, that's a black man that wrote that. No proof, no nothing. You never ever seen that in your life. You've never heard of an article, a documentary, a TV show. You never experienced having a friend of yours who has a burner account where he says racist things about black women and pretends to be not black. That's not a thing. It's never happened. But anyway, I can ramble on and on, man. These are all freestyle videos, man. Maybe one of these days I'll have some notes and I'll actually prepare for a video. But I really want to make sure again that I'm giving y'all content and I'm popping out every chance I get. You know, to give y'all some content, to comment on stuff, to get in here with y'all, and you know, and just, you know, be productive, man. You listen, if you got a dream, you got a thing you're working on and whatnot, listen, you never know. If you take one step every day, you probably take one step every day. But yo, if I take 1,000 steps every day, you know what I mean, like within a year, who knows how far I'll be, you know? So, you know, you never know how far you can be if you put the effort and time into things, man. So what you see me do right here, right now, and I'm putting the time in. I'm putting myself out there because I love y'all, and I love my folks. I love everyone in general, and I want to see everyone be the best version of themselves. The point of this conversation is for us to make better decisions as a people, as humans in general. If you're a non-black person watching this and whatnot, you know, I know it probably looks a little crazy, but again, the conversation is about self-awareness. The conversation is about actual problem solving, actual how we see problems and how we handle things and how we assess situations. Because if we're not able to look at data and information and whatnot and say, okay, based on this data and information, my next move is this. And we're not able to do stuff like that. Listen, like, no matter who you are, you're doomed. You understand? You're doomed. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the video. 6 past commandments is wanting to be like a half hour, 40-minute video, man. But listen, man, I'm here for y'all, man. Peace.